Welcome back to the shop. Today we're going to continue on the offset barbecue barrel smoker build. I had some metal cut at a local Dartmouth metal supermarkets. That's going to allow me to assemble the firebox, put some tack welds, fully welded out. Should be a quick video. Hopefully I didn't just jinx myself. Let's get started. We're going to build the firebox from 3/16 mild steel plate. These were plasma cut on a plasma table at Dartmouth supermarkets, metal supermarkets. We'll get them all laid out on the table and we'll identify which piece is which so we don't make any grave errors when we're putting it together. There's two features cut in the metal. That's going to be the exhaust for the smoke into the barrel, and the other cut feature is going to be the inlet or the draft into the stove. There was a calculator online, told me for the 55-gallon drum barrel that I'm using as a smoker, I would need a 4,800 square inch firebox, and I got there with a 16 by 18 inch cube, 16 by 18 inch rectangle. So we're going to identify each one of the pieces so we don't make any errors during the building process. The top and the bottom are 16 inches wide by 18 inches long. That's these two. The sides are 16 by 16 squares, and the front and back are 18 by 16 squares. Although this one was cut into two pieces so that this can be the frame and this can be the door to open and close to add your wood. You might see my friend Baljinder in the shop. He's just joined me from Montreal by way of Brampton, Ontario, originally from Punjab in India.
Hello everyone.
Welcome Baljinder.
Thank you.
Like I said, this is going to be the back of the firebox, and that'll be our outlet for the smoke. We're going to build this box just using the 90-degree magnet and some tacks. Hopefully we can get it reasonably square. It's not critical as long as I'm able to seal it with the welds. These parts were plasma cut, so they should be true. I shouldn't have too much issues with alignment. In order to keep it as nice as I can, I'm going to use some small cut-off pieces of 3/16 steel as blocks, just for help to align the bottom and the sides. So once again, the tickle trunk provides. These blocks are going to help us lift the sides so that we have a good cross section for weld, and so that we maintain our 16 by 18 dimensions. Now that I have it set up in a rudimentary fashion, I'm just going to confirm my measurements again to make sure that I'm on the right track here. So the sides are going to be inset, resting on the top. So the front can be completely flush on all sides. Same with the back. The other side would be inset. And the top will be the same. And all we will have to raise when we weld it together is the front and the back. Turn the heat up a little bit, make it a little bit more, get a little bit better penetration. These parts are going to distort and warp slightly with welding, but as I said, this is not a precise build, it's a firebox. As long as I get it sealed, we should be A-okay. I'll give my lovely assistant to come and hold this for me. You're going to want to pay attention to your order of operations for this build. Ideally, I would like to have most of the welds inside the box, which means I'll have to fully weld these seams before I build the entire box. Otherwise, I won't be able to reach inside with the welder. So this one we're blocking up with small pieces of 3/16 steel so that we get a flush finish on the top before when we set the rest of the top on. This piece being the thinnest and smallest material is the one that will be most susceptible to warping when I'm welding it. So I'll tack it on the sides and the bottom before I weld it all the way out. The front on first because that's going to allow me to go inside in order to put tacks when I mount the back. Okay, so we have the back tacked at the bottom. I'm going to use the 90-degree magnet to get my corner good at the top, and I'll do 2 more tacks down the side. Using the auto darkening helmet with the light in the background, I can't see anything inside the box. Rough shape tacked together. The door will be mounted to the frame with hinges and a handle. So you can open and close, and there'll also be a slider so you can allow more or less air depending on how hot you want your fire. So as I said, just for ease of building, I'll do now the majority of the welds internally before I put the top on, so that I have lots of access for welding. Once I put the top on, I can finish it like this through the door. We got a little gap right there. I'll probably do the welds in about 4-inch segments, rotating around and up and down the sides of the box so that I don't get too much warpage all in one spot. And I'll quickly do some slag removal on the tacks. Warm. That's one seam fully welded. I expect the door frame will warp during the welding process, but I'm going to seal it, I believe, with the sealant that you get for fireplaces or wood stove doors. Hopefully that takes care of that problem. I'm just going clean up the corners on the inside of the box with the wire wheel before I do the rest of the welds, because there's quite a lot of slag collecting in there. We have another new Prime Cables Tools angle grinder from Amazon. Man, $35. You can't beat this tool, let me tell you. 6.5 amps for 35 bucks. It'll do everything you need to do. Just knock some of the garbage out of it. Whew, it's gonna be heavy. That's a little better. We'll carry on with the welding. Considered, it's taking the weld pretty well. I'm actually not going to be ashamed to show you some of these welds in the video, which is a good sign. Wow, that was ugly. I was going way too fast for some reason. It's like my 10th foot of linear welding, and for some reason I just sped up like crazy and got a terrible bead there. I may clean it off and try to lay another bead on top of it. It's okay. It's inside the stove. You're never going to be able to see it. It looks like it's sealed. I'm not going to waste the wire. We'll flip it over and do the front. The front, I am, like I said, worried about warping because it's such a small piece, but it should be held in place now by the rest of the firebox, I would think. Now I know why that weld was so bad. It's the way I'm welding. You gotta be comfortable or your welds turn out terrible. Yeah, that's much better. As soon as I went to a more comfortable position, the bead came right up. Some of these welds I'll be ashamed to show you. Well, that's her fully welded out. Let's see if the top still fits. So all in all, because I forgot to account for the thickness of the material in the design of the box, I am 1/4 inch, less than 1/4 inch of a gap, which I will just middle and fill in with weld. Actually, I'm going to try to do these welds from the outside. And then we can grind them smooth and make a nice beveled edge on the front and back. Do the hard one first or the easy one? Do the hard one first. Then, when you're frustrated at the end, you do the easy one, bring it back up. So this one I'll do in 2 passes so I don't get tired and mess up the weld on the other half. Yeah, it's cooling down some. We've got a few ugly spots, but the flat wheel will make that nice. All we have left are the sides of the top. Then we can work on mounting the coupler, where the firebox will couple to the barrel, which is just a round tube, I think 7 or 8 inches diameter. And then we can work on the hinges and the handle for the door. It's real good news that most of these welds are inside the box where you can't see them. It's been a couple days. We're going to get back and finish up the firebox. We want to get this smoker on the go for Canada Day, which is July 1st. We can make a big brisket. So next up we're going to build some barrel hinges to mount the door. I'm going to use the same material I used to make the hinges for the lid of the cook chamber, and I'll show you what I mean. So as we did with the hinges for the lid of the cook chamber, we're going to construct our barrel hinges out of these 2 pieces of material that fit nicely together. So we're going to do 2 2-inch barrel hinges, which will mean I'll cut the hollow tube into 4 1-inch sections, and the inner hinge will be cut into 2 2-inch sections. While it is nice and long and easy to manipulate, I'm just going to take the paint off, so it's going to be easier to weld. So we'll get 2 male hinges and 2 female hinges. So we've got some working barrel hinges. I've identified where they're going to be placed on the firebox. I've got the door centered. Now I'm just going to use the angle grinder to clean up the areas where I'm going to weld the hinges. So I was in the tickle trunk and I found these pieces of an old car body. I'm not sure exactly where they came from, but they have a nice bend in them. These are going to act as sliders for my air vent. I gotta take a victory video to this. Oh hey, can you just open my firebox, put some wood in, and then adjust the airflow? Yeah, no problem. Oh, maybe some more air. Sick. And that concludes the firebox. It has a door, it has a draft, it has a flue, hinges, handle. I think that'll do for this video. Once again, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging out in the shop.